Hello, hello, Dragon family. Araya coming to you live. It's Thursday. I realized I haven't connected with you guys this week, and I've been so present in dragons and big energies and all kinds of new information today. I thought, it's a perfect time to go on. I'm here. I've got all the tools here. It must be just perfect alignment to have the microphone, have the phone, have the internet working, have the stand. Let's do this. So coming to you just to check in for this week. As I told you before, I'm going to do these more in flow of when my heart says to do them than on any schedule. So sometimes you'll see me on Tuesday and sometimes you'll see me other days. Found it interesting today. I was absolutely unaware. I had 2 sessions and a 2-hour group today, and the energy in those, there was some new information about some activity going on with the sun, the solar dragons, these 12 massive solar dragons that are circled around our sun and doing intensifying it, activating some more intensity, which may be an increase in solar flares or the I'm trying to think of the resonance field. The Schumann resonance might start popping. Just had this big energy going on and got into my group. And after I shared that, somebody else shared about it being a specific, very special alignment today with an eclipse that was going on. So I found that very interesting that there's this eclipse. There's all this solar dragon energy going on. So I've got my sun dragon in the field here with me, along with my crystal dragon, because there was more on the crystal core of the planet being affected by those big shifts with the sun, and that we are moving into a new transition phase. Once all of our crystal and DNA is activated and we have more connectivity with that, we are ready for next phase in our evolution. So many of you have been aware that we've had some experiences consciously for about 3 years now with the time continuum, the timelines operating differently, warping, compressing, expanding, being able to move in and out of timelines, having objects move in and out of timelines. So wanted to just bring in a little playful thing for you to pay attention to with the space continuum now stepping into a wobble or warp in your experience, as far as similar to what was happening with the time continuum, with the timelines, now being aware it's going to be happening with the space vectors around you. So just start paying attention to what's happening, feeling into it, being aware that it's all normal, it's all part of the progression, and not to stress or over worry or overthink any of it. Just keep going with it and keep expanding your definitions of your reality and letting go of those old definitions to allow the truth within everything to actually reveal. We want to know and experience things from our true state as their true state. So keep opening to that. With that in mind, I had a great question last week that I felt like coming on to discuss. I've touched on it a couple different times over the years, but when someone asks a question, sometimes it's nicer for them if I just go straight into it and see maybe there's new information to add now. So I'm going to tackle this one here live today, and it was a question about the relationship between dragons, because last week I talked about, I'm trying to remember now, I talked about the connection between dragons and something, and it led to this question from someone else of a connection between dragons and the angelic realms, angels, the Seraphim. What's my take on it? Is there any validity there or any energy around that? And I would love to share that because many of you realize or have had experience with information about the Seraphim actually being dragons, as are, I believe, and experience and remember many of the Elohim. So when we realize that all of the structures of this realm were put in place and brought through to be held by the dragons, they ended up seeding many of them. They ended up being part of the structure of different places as the, you might call the guides or mentors in setting up different systems within this realm. So with the angelic realms and the creation of the angelic realms connected to the earth planes of existence, so that when human bodies would transition, they would actually physically die, that they could go into a heaven or hell realm, one of the dimensional layers here around the earth, and experience growth in love towards a heavenly state, an angelic state, that would be a potential of available experience and expression through this realm. So those had to be set up so that when that crossover transition happened, not only was it available, but there were beings already there to assist in that learning as guides, as mentors, overseeing it all, holding the grids. And as I said, many of those were dragon. And other cosmic angelic realms did send some. But my experience is that many of the original high realms, doesn't mean all of the angelic realms are dragon. It means that many of the early seeded, so the Seraphim and the Elohim, were predominantly dragon and carried, because each of those is distinctive with a specific vibrational bandwidth. And so because they could carry that bandwidth in the structuring, they were invited to and encouraged or asked to be those that would hold that space and keep expanding it. So you might have you might have memory of that. You might have felt like, wow, I had this dragon guide and it felt angelic. How is that possible? And even knowing there's a separate angelic realm that is the cosmic angelic realm, where many dragons exist, as do many other types of beings that have what you might be able to call earn their angelic status, earn their mastery of those realms. For me, angelic status is really about levels of love as beings that come in from different, what would we call it, species or realms that they come to populate it. And in order to actually inhabit and live within those realms, a certain level of love is attained or achieved through different mastery, different experiences, different incarnational journeys that a soul will have. And so they are now populated by many other beings as well. But that might help solve the mystery for some of you that have felt like, what is that connection? Is there one? Because I definitely felt like there was. And there's your little validation point. What else to say about it? There's an original expansion in those realms, and why the dragons were part of the teams structuring this universe was because it was going to be based on structures of love, that was going to be the core frequency. It wasn't about power, it wasn't about wisdom, it was actually about being able to triangulate all three and have love as the basis. So in order to produce that, the structures within would be based on that love as the core frequency, which is why the crystalline or the love lineage of dragons, what you might call the water lineage, which goes through water, sapphire, aquamarine, crystal, the silver, up into Mayarchon, up in Sirius, that those frequencies are more aligned to that love lineage. And so they would then have the knowledge and mastery to set forth and build or hold structures that would be aligned to that. That's a little more background information as to why particular dragon lineages might have been chosen or invited to be part of those. Not sure what else I have to say about it. If you guys have more questions about that, I'm certainly happy to dive in and see what answers come. But that is the core relationship that I've experienced. And in simple terms, yes, indeed, the dragons and the angels have a connection. They are interwoven, and they are definitely both on the same team as far as helping humanity. So what you might find interesting is knowing that each of us is human, born in human form. No matter what point we're going to wake up, especially those that are dragon, to our dragon selves, but waking up to the ascension process, waking up to what's beyond the veil, beyond this 3D realm, we have guides that assist us all along the way. And every human is assigned an angelic human form guide and guardian. So you do have a guardian angel, you do have a guide along with you from birth. And those do change over time. They get rotated out as you are ready for different lessons, as you're ready to move into different phases of your journey. And there's guides that can be more productive or assisting with that. So they do change out. And as you wake up to your dragon aspect, you will start to see dragon guides showing up around you. And often you will have both your angelic guides and dragon guides in your field, because as I said, they do work hand in hand. So just another little tidbit there. I think with that, I'm going to keep it short and sweet for this week. Really, really big energies. So just allow yourself to soak up the sun, feel any expansion that the space continuum is trying to show you. And I would say just allow all of your definitions of what you know to be your life as you have known it, objects around you as you have known them and understood them to be, to just be softened, broadened, expanded, allowing the new to come in, because we're at a transition point again where it's time to move into the next plateau of our evolution. And so things are going to start looking a little bit different. You're going to start feeling a little bit different about things, and some things might not have the same appeal anymore. And what really draws you, what really resonates with you, really allowing yourself to be surrounded with those energies and things, whether they're objects or people, that really, really, truly resonate on a heart level for you. Because as we move forward, everything is going to be about that heart resonance and true alignment into your soul level, which is your signature, which is everything about what you truly attract, desire, and want to have around you. And so follow that. Let that be coming into place around you. Means maybe you don't tolerate certain things anymore. Maybe you don't tolerate certain things around you or people around you, or certain discussions, that you move into a different perspective of it where it can be present. You don't have to rebuke or rebut or push away or degrade anything that doesn't resonate with you anymore. But you can move into a different resonant field and just allow that to still be present, but slowly drift away from you. And sometimes that's the easiest way to move into a state of peace and harmonic within for where you're going. All right, so hopefully it gave some insights, especially for that individual that asked the question today about the angelic dragon connection. And if you have questions, please email them. You can post them as comments on the video. You can direct message me through Facebook. So this is how we get our discussions each week, and sometimes they lead into fascinating ones that are much more involved and deeper. But today just feels sweet and simple, direct and to the point, and allowing you to be in alignment with particularly that solar energy today, but your own heart knowing. Wishing that for you over the next days or week until I see you again. Have a great day and week for now. I'll see you when I see ya. Bye, everybody.